Hawaii is sacred and is described as one of the most beautiful places on Earth. It is made up of volcanic islands, rare plants, and surrounded by vast oceans. With nearly 10 million visitors each year, Hawaii is a tropical paradise and a dream destination for a vacation. But for just 1.5 million people, it's something much more profound: home. While tourism continues to grow and the Earth's environmental status continues to change, sustainability has not just become important, but essential.
My name is Noanua, and I have a background in sustainable community food systems. The way that Hawaii culture has been mixed into my everyday lifestyle is immense. From the way I act to the way I view the world around me, all comes to play in understanding what Hawaii culture is and understanding that we're a melting pot of different ideas. And to live in Hawaii, you have to be able to live with an open mind. Adapting to a sustainable lifestyle is securing the future for not only ourselves, but for the future generations. If we're able to adapt to a position where we are no longer damaging the environment, we wouldn't see such drastic changes in weather, in climate change. Food security across the islands and the nation would be in such a better position rather than growing like monocrops, being like a single plant farming method. Us in Hawaii being on an island, we put ourselves in a very large predicament when we don't practice these sustainable methods. A lot of people take that for granted, and that's where we'll see problems in the future. Over my time in schooling, I have committed to starting the Evamakai 7th grade outdoor garden. I have started the Iolani upper and lower school gardens, as well as rooftop gardening. Sustainable food production in its core aspect is the production of food for the population without hindering the future generations' ability to also farm and generate their own food, produce, lifestyles. Some general examples would be sustainable gardening, which looks at being able to produce food on a local level in island by using practices that don't drain or damage the land around it. There's also restorative gardening, where you are able to grow within nature as it stands itself. So you're not interrupting ecosystems and changing the environment for 100% your benefit, but trying to work together with the ongoing ecosystem.
Implementing these methods of sustainable food production provides healthier alternatives for consumption. With the global climate changing, the next generation of adults must learn how to manage and be mindful of carbon emissions. According to researchers, in the year 2024, the worldwide population emitted 35 billion metric tons of carbon dioxide. In 2023, the United States was ranked as the second highest distributor of these emissions.
My name is Albie Miles. I'm an associate professor of sustainable community food systems at the University of Hawaii, West Oahu, and I am the co-director of the Ke'omau Center for Sustainable Island Food Systems. My background is environmental science. I'm trained as a population and community ecologist. I study the role of biological diversity in and around farming systems and how farming systems are managed. I think about sustainability in food and farming systems from different kind of disciplinary angles. There's the biophysical, and then there's other elements, ecological sustainability in the production of agricultural products. Right now, we have diets that are unsustainable, and that's because we emphasize a certain kind of diet, which is highly processed food. So what we're consuming and the amount that we are consuming it is really unsustainable and is not something that the global community can adopt and sustain. And as a result, not only are we contributing to ecological degradation, but it's also profoundly impacting public health.
Many young adults utilize single-use plastics and high-waste textile clothing, which causes more waste, more carbon emissions in the atmosphere, and works against sustainability in many ways.
My name is Monique Mironesco, and I am a professor of political science here at UH West Oahu. Hawaii has a particularly devastating water history. Access to clean water is really important for sustainable agriculture, and still the water is being diverted to support a tourism industry that is completely unsustainable. Mass tourism is doing all kinds of disservice to not only the land, but also water consumption. Learning how to submit testimony at different levels to the Board of Land and Natural Resources or the City Council, the state legislature, those testimonies make a huge difference. We have to make sure that we support systems that will not support that kind of pollution. And generally, people have to make a decision based on what they can afford. If you want to buy an electric car, that's very expensive. You save on gas, of course, but you've got to have the upfront money to make that investment. And a lot of people just can't afford it. Cost is the number one challenge. Buy as much local as possible. Growing my own food is important to me. I have an orchard and I grow lychee, starfruit, avocados, mangoes, limes, a variety of other kinds of citrus. That's another way is to avoid waste. And so another way to do that is to not buy unnecessary stuff. Trying to, buy secondhand or not buy at all. Just supporting local products.
With high waste levels and an overlooking attitude towards environmental sustainability, other crucial natural resources begin to suffer.
When I was a university student, I took an environmental ethics class. And in that environmental ethics class, I was asked the question of what deserves moral consideration and why. And so that really set into motion considering what are my moral duties to live a life that has less ecological impact so that other human and non-human beings may flourish. The work that we have been most involved in is state-level food system planning in Hawaii. We have been actively involved in advancing that through legislative processes that led to the passing of a law, and now it's called Act 239, that requires the state of Hawaii to form an interagency food system working group and come up with a plan that addresses not only local agriculture, but issues such as food access, climate change adaptation and mitigation, among others.
On the state level, I think that policies that would help supporting local food production is really, really important, and making it affordable.
Young adults or individuals getting used to the responsibilities of renting and budgeting often experience several advantages by learning how to be more conservative with their utilities, such as electricity, water, and gas. Going sustainable brings a double reward: less strain on the wallets and more support for a clean earth.
My name is Kukahi Pacana. I'm 25 and I grew up in Ewa Beach. I lived in Hawaii my whole life. I grew up here, mostly in Ewa Beach and then moving right over to Kapolei. With Hawaiian culture historically, the whole malama the aina, that goes back the whole way because you have to take care of the land and the land takes care of you. And you need to take care of the land so you can cultivate it so that you can grow your resources, keep your resources fresh. And then in turn, you use those resources to survive. I think a big deal is just reusability of items, because it helps cut down on landfill waste and you can just keep using the same items, so it's cost effective. I'm a real big fan of trying to fix things myself. Like when my backpack rips, instead of getting a new backpack, I'll just stitch it up. I try not to buy things just to have them. Growing up and becoming an adult has changed my views of sustainability in the sense that now I'm my own person. I make all of my own choices. Once you become an adult, you're not relying on your parents and kind of following. If I decided I wanted to buy a 24-pack of plastic water bottles, drink half and toss them, no one's stopping me. But being an adult and making your own decisions means that I can do what I think is right. It becomes a lot more of self-responsibility as opposed to following someone else's footsteps.
I very intentionally try to live simply, but I also very specifically consume, particularly my diet is I've been a lifelong primarily vegetarian, and think the ways that we choose to consume is super important in terms of living in ways that are consistent with our moral duties.
Sustainability as a whole hasn't changed all that much. I've always been sort of a low consumption, grow my own food kind of person in order to make sure that my dollars support what I value, which is a sustainable kind of agriculture. While that's great, the individuals are not the entities that are doing the most polluting. Understanding that the subsidies that the government gives to corporations support the kind of system that allows them to continue polluting, and that while we as individuals may make these sustainable lifestyle changes, and we absolutely should do that, we can't be the only ones.
The biggest challenges for a sustainable lifestyle is definitely one, attitude, and two, consistency. A lot of people out there love the idea of sustainable practices, but they're short-lived because it can be difficult at times to uphold yourself. Although it's a necessity that we should definitely look towards producing ourselves. Everyone needs a little bit of help in order to keep that going and to secure a better future for those around us. If we don't hold each other accountable, it's really just a one-step process.
Consumer culture is a big part of how people live their lives. For what the land cannot directly provide, people rely on purchasing from shops and stores around their neighborhood. It is no secret that some of the businesses are better equipped for sustainability than others. As of 2022, it was discovered that 59% of companies had begun using more sustainable materials in their products and increasing efficient energy use. Before sharing more data, let's put your intuition to the test. What consumer product of 2021 was prioritized among young adults worldwide to be more eco-friendly than their other purchases? Is it A, clothing, B, food, C, skincare and makeup products, or D, home appliances? The answer is B, food.
The things that are within immediate reach are thinking about your consumption patterns and doing a little bit of research to determine what are the ways that you can reduce your overall ecological footprint. How frequently you're getting in an airplane? How frequently are you consuming meat? All those things have significant in terms of their contributions to greenhouse gas emissions, then potentially getting involved in campaigns for biodiversity conservation in Hawaii. A lot of these things that we are discussing are really dependent upon supporting public policy, whether it's an incentive or a regulation, because that's often where major structural decisions are made about whether or not biodiversity is conserved or biodiversity is degraded and exploited.
Although many are already familiar with sustainability in purchasing food, there is strength in knowing how to apply sustainability to all products that we purchase. For example, clothing.
Hi, my name is Reika Beaty. I am currently an administrative assistant and also a retail sales associate. Ability issues plaguing our generation is just a lack of transparency and more so people just choosing not to know. People need to understand that it's all about where you're sourcing your products. I honestly think that our age group are people that are starting to consume a lot more. We all have adult jobs now. We all have adult money, so we're starting to spend it. And it's really important to know what we're spending our money on. I don't want to waste my money on something that I'm probably going to use once and throw away, or something that I'm probably not going to feel too good about just releasing back into the wild. I think it's a multifaceted issue. When a person wants something that is branded, they're not necessarily paying for better quality or because it's a better product. They're paying because they want to see that brand on it. Definitely younger people partake in fast fashion a lot more. It leads back entirely into that convenience. It'll be here in a month, but it's only $6. I'll take it, even if it doesn't look the best. I'm seeing a lot of people support brands like Hawaii's Finest. I see a lot of people support Lex Breezy. I really enjoy that people are starting to shop more local, smaller brands. If sustainability was introduced in ways that people can kind of see at a glance, this would greatly benefit my community or our communities, then I think people will be more incentivized. It's like how when you recycle something and they give you money, then people are incentivized to recycle. If we could tailor this generation's spending proclivities and move them more towards things like sustainability, then I think that we would see a huge shift.
Living in Hawaii is a gift, and among these islands, the practices of sustainability are more than just an idea. They're a reflection of traditions deeply rooted in the culture. Malama Aina, to care for the land, is a way of life that incorporates sustainability into our daily routines and practices. Although often overlooked, these simple improvement actions can have lasting positive impact on the islands that provide residents with so much, and the earth that brings gifts for all of humankind.
Being able to work as a community in that sense will help push those who have issues with committing to the idea and bring us a little closer.
I definitely think it's important for everyone to try and do their part because, again, we all share the same earth. We're all going to be on the same earth. So I think it's only right that we all work together to keep it going for as long as we can.
Together, we can educate ourselves and others to work towards a better world in a healthier environment. The future of the earth is through sustainability.